Hey Quarantines, it's Bronwen. It's Friday, so it's time for another video. This is my big girl Pepper. She is a really good girl, and she's very comforting during this time. It's a good girl, Pepper. Today's topic is going to be Bronwen's favorites from high school. What's old is new. Not that old, but for me, old favorite books are things that I can revisit now and that still have a similar emotional effect, whether it's from nostalgia, whether it's because my dog is coming into the room. I don't know. That's for each person to say. This photo was taken my senior year of high school. This was 18 years ago. Enough said. Today I wanted to tell you about 5 of my favorites in high school and 5 newer books that are similar. I know it's very, very personal, so again, no hurt feelings if you're not into these genres. I noticed kind of a theme with my favorites in high school. One thing about my high school years, it was really pre-young adult fiction. So there were some things that were coming out that are now considered to be junior fiction or young adult fiction. And at the time they were written for young people, but the options were very few and far between in terms of young adult fiction. I was 16 or 17 years old when Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone came out, or otherwise known as Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. And it was really exciting for us all to wait for the next book to come out, and we all felt like we were growing up with Harry Potter, which was a really cool phenomenon. I don't really need to say too much about Harry Potter, especially the first one. A lot of people know it really well, but if you want to read it right now for free with no wait time, you go to our digital resources page on csllibrary.org and you will find in OverDrive that Harry Potter is free until the end of April, so get it now. Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss is a wonderful book that parallels Harry Potter. It is definitely written for older people, so it's more of a teen adult book crossover, I would say. It's a wonderful fantasy, very engrossing, a big commitment, so if you're looking for a long read, it's a really good choice. And there's a second book in the series, as well as a book 2.5, where they follow one of the very intriguing characters from book 2. Unfortunately, Patrick Rothfuss has not published the third book in the trilogy, which is very frustrating because you really want to hear what happens next. But for now, if you want a longer read, The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss, and the second one is A Wise Man's Fear. High school favorite number 2 is Sabriel by Garth Nix, which is another trilogy, and the first book, called Sabriel, came out in 1995. This is about the daughter of a very, very powerful necromancer, and she has to travel to the Old Kingdom to rescue her father from the realm of the dead. The more contemporary read-alike, if you will, for Sabriel is Graceling by Kristin Cashore, and Graceling is about a young woman who lives in a world where people have different powers called graces, and her grace is the grace of killing. High school favorite number 3 is Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen, which came out in 1997. Just kidding. It came out in January of 1813, but the story still has a lot of relevance today. Longbourn by Joe Baker is a retelling of Pride and Prejudice, but from the perspective of the people who work in the home of the Bennets, who are the main characters in the book. So it's kind of a Downton Abbey retelling of the original Pride and Prejudice story, which sounds really intriguing. High school favorite number 4 is The Golden Compass by Phillip Pullman, which came out in 1995. A lot of you might be familiar with his Dark Materials, which is both the name of the Golden Compass trilogy and the name of the new show that's based on the Golden Compass, which is a very lush fantasy. I think there's an emerging theme of these scrappy young women as main characters, and the Golden Compass is really no exception. I would compare, to some degree, Seraphina by Rachel Hartman, which would be my contemporary read-alike for the Golden Compass. And the parallel really is, in this case, in the main character. Another character with extraordinary abilities. Who knew that I like this kind of stuff? Seraphina actually has dragons in it, but it's really an interesting world and interpretation of dragons that I have never read anything like. Highly recommended. High school favorite number 5, last but not least, is A Wrinkle in Time by Madeleine L'Engle, which came out in 1962. So a little bit before I was in high school, but it's a book that I've read recently, and it definitely stands up, although some people who have read it recently find that it seems a little bit outdated. It's a quick read. It's very unique science fiction, again with a scrappy female main character who's about 12 years old. It's really neat. And there's also a movie adaptation that came out recently, which had mixed reviews. But if you enjoyed the movie or thought the premise was cool, you should definitely read the book. My contemporary read-alike suggestion for A Wrinkle in Time is When You Reach Me by Rebecca Stead, which is a very unique novel. Again, really ahead of its time in a lot of ways. It's science fiction. It's a book about time travel, and I couldn't put it down. Have a great weekend, everybody. As you can tell, I changed my clothes and my glasses. Something I like to do when I'm by myself and really bored. Stay safe, stay healthy. Peace out.
Pepper wants to lie down. Pepper, lie down. Pepper, lie down. Oh, that's a good girl, Pepper. My big girl Pepper. She knows how to lie down. She's just showing you that she can lie down. She's such a good girl.